How to make a lot of money when you have no money, no connections, and want to do it from your home. That's the question I got, and it read, hey man, love the video. Can you make a video about how to start an online business with $0 and no connections or tools and just skills that anyone can learn for free without the need to go outside? Yes, buy a lottery ticket. It's actually a question that's pretty common, particularly with younger people and people just getting started. They don't have any money, and it would be easy to dismiss, but I've done it. I've started with very little money, no connections, and from home, and made millions of dollars in one of my early business, and I'll talk about how I did that. So, first of all, you got to figure out, what do you want to do? I mean, what interests you? Because you need a topic, you need a niche, you need something that you can focus on in order to build that base where you can make some money. So two ways you can do it, and if you were brainstorming, you can write down all of the things you think you are good at. You can write down all of the topics that you have an interest in, and that's one way to do it, is to build a business around things that you like. And the other way is to find niches that are big niches that you think there is money and you want to make, and you get involved with those. There's no right or wrong answer to that. But for example, if you were interested in grass snakes that live in New Zealand, it would be harder to make money from an audience that size than it would be for how to get a six-pack abs in 30 days, for example. One has tens of millions of people interested in that, and my guess is there'd be very few people interested in the snake thing. So you first got to do that. And some very basic research you can do is, number one, you can go to YouTube, for example. Go to YouTube, and the thing that you think that you want to be in, to do, type that in and see the videos, how many views they have. If there's lots of videos with 10 million, 20 million, 30 million views, or a lot of views, there's an audience there. If the thing that you've typed in doesn't have a lot of views, then there's probably not an audience there, right? Big verticals like finance and health and relationships, they have tens of millions of views. Doesn't mean you can't make money in the smaller audiences, but you've got to try and figure out direction. What's your vision? What direction are you headed in? So that's number one, right? What direction do you intend to make money with? Now, if you've got no money, you've got to find a way to create an audience to sell to. And one of the free ways to do that is through social media, right? Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. They're all free versions of those as far as I know. You can start building a community around yourself by giving value. Now let me give you an example. I have 25 years ago, I was very interested in trading. And I learned how to become a derivatives trader in London. And then I started a website. I taught myself how to make a website. Now there's lots of different places you can create free websites or very cheap websites. And I'm not convinced nowadays you actually need a website, but I'm going to tell you how I did it, and you can leverage that concept. So I made a website. I actually went and bought something from my local computer store, and I think it was called Dreamweaver at the time. I taught myself how to do it, made a website, and then any community that I could find, any forums that I could find about trading, I joined because I wanted to learn. So I got involved with the community, and I tried to give as much value to that community as I could. If there was new members to the community, I would greet them, I would say hello. I was trying to make friends with people, I was trying to network. If somebody had a question and no one else answered it, I would go research it and answer it for them. And in the process of that, I became actually quite knowledgeable about that topic. And in a short period of time, I became the most knowledgeable person in a lot of the communities that I was involved with. Then from there, I started a newsletter. I started a free newsletter where people could join. And I still hadn't charged for anything. I still hadn't asked anybody to pay for anything. It was really just because I was so interested in trading. I wanted to talk to people. And every week, and in those days it was weekly, I would send out a newsletter with all of the things that I had learned that week, all of the things that were happening in the world related to that, and all of the things I thought other traders could use. And I was really excited to see that feedback. So when people gave me feedback, it created a conversation. And then I started to think, well, how can I monetize this? What products would my fellow traders be interested in? And I started looking around for products that I thought were good, of good quality, or I used myself. And then I'd mention them in the newsletter. And I realized I could make some money. And the first money I made, I think the first amount I made was like $300. Anyway, that sparked a big interest. And then I knew I had to grow the audience, and I wanted to grow my newsletter. So I came up with the idea on the website where I put an opt-in, where people could opt in for free to the newsletter and get free information. And for example, I would give a free report, so that if somebody went to the opt-in page, they would say there's a free report, and it would be something related to trading. It might be how to use MACD or ADX or something that I had researched and found really interesting. And then I went to other communities, all these communities that I was involved with, and all of the forums, and all of there wasn't that, I don't think there was any social media in those days, but to all of the outlets that I was engaged with, I would say to that person who owned that outlet, that forum for example, would you mind sending your subscribers or advertising on your website that they can get this free report? And very often, I would say about 50%, it was quite a high hit rate back then. If the quality of the information you were giving away was good, it was easy to recommend for somebody. So the person who owned the forum would have a look and they'd say, yeah, that's pretty good. And sometimes I'd make an agreement, look, you help me out here to help me build a list. Then when my list becomes bigger, I will help you out. That started to build the list. It went from a few hundred to a few thousand to tens of thousands. And that business is still going in some form today. And there are 400,000 traders who are interested in that newsletter. It does a lot of money, and it has an entire team. It has people who research things. It has people who research what's happened in the economic calendar. It has compliance. It turned into a very big thing and made tens of millions of dollars. And it started for free. So I know it can be done because I've done it. So how would somebody coming into this do it now? I think that I don't think people are looking at websites as much as they used to. There's definitely websites there. You have to go buy things on websites. But before you get there, people trust influencers more than they do adverts, or they do TV, or they do paid ads. If you think about it, if you get a link, somebody texts you a link, I never click a link. If I don't know that person intimately, I'm not going to click anybody's link. I basically once or twice a day block people who I don't know. So I think everybody's the same. You get a lot of stuff in your email. Email used to be the number one thing that people communicated and made money with. It was the cheapest form of a return on investment, as if you had an autoresponder and you could sell. But I think even email is dying a bit, and the brands are all moving towards social media. So if you can create a brand for yourself, and it doesn't really matter whether it's TikTok or Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever that social media is, and build a brand around yourself by giving good value. And hopefully I'm an example, right? So very rarely will you ever hear me mention about anything I have for sale, because I don't have anything for sale, really. I make my money from the businesses that I own, and very occasionally I have a mentor program, and people, if they approach me and I think we get on, I'll work with them, but you won't see it advertised anywhere. Not at this stage, but I try to give back as much information that I can, and what I find from that is, not a lot, because I'm not spending that much time on it, but maybe once a week or once every fortnight, somebody will reach out to me. They might have a business for sale. They might want help with their business. They might want to be mentored. And that I enjoy. It's just at the right pace for me. I don't want to make a full-time living by being a mentor, because I don't have the time or the bandwidth. I like to focus on my main business, but I do enjoy mentoring people because it keeps me sharp. People who are really energetic and they're trying to make things happen and they've got all of the latest technology. I learn from them as much as they learn from me. But the reason I find out about those people is because of videos like this. As an example, one of my mentees brought me a business. It was a reasonable sized business. It was, in fact, I won't mention the business, but they had 300 franchisees and 10,000 clients. And there was an opportunity to work with that person and get equity in the business through helping that business with the problem that they had. I wouldn't have had that lead had it not been for videos like this. So number one, you can make a lot of money if you're prepared to work and put in the sweat equity. I don't know of anything where you can start with no money, no contacts, work from home, and don't do any work. You're going to work harder, a lot harder. And what I find now is, I still need that networking community that I've built, but a lot of the businesses and things that I do is just brute force. We buy advertising. We have the resources to buy what we need in order to make that work. But as I just demonstrated, you can do it starting from nothing, and it still works today because I still get those leads and business opportunities from making videos like this. So I hope that's helped. If anybody's watching and they like these videos and have a question, just post the question wherever you see this and I'll do my best to answer it. I might not get to it that week, but I will get to it regardless of the question. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, give us some feedback. Have a great day.